Welcome to another edition of Women's Soccer Weekly here on EMU Eagle All Access. I'm Adam Kuffner. Joining me once again is head coach Scott Hall. And coach, finally got the season underway. Friday night you got a win against Detroit, a 3-2 win. Went to Columbus on Sunday and lost a tough overtime game against Ohio State, a nationally ranked team. But obviously you want to come away with an undefeated weekend. But nonetheless, you got to win at home, and then you also took a nationally ranked team to overtime on the road.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty excited. I think even the University of Detroit game, I mean, here's a good, solid team. They're picked to win the Horizon. We had to come back twice. We were down twice. We went into the Ohio State game saying we don't want to be chasing the game. Got the first goal. Did a good job holding on to that lead for a while. Lost a little at the end, but good weekend overall for us.
And in the Detroit game, you trailed by 1 goal and scored 2 unanswered goals, and mostly to the help of the seniors. Kara Kataya scored a goal, and then also Stephanie Clark had a superb cross to junior Martha Stevens for the game-winning goal. And how does it feel for you to have your seniors step up and show that leadership in the first game of the season?
Well, I mean, I think that we're going to need that all year long, and I think we have a team this year that has a ton of experience. A lot of players have been on the field, so naturally, I mean, they're going to be the leaders now, but we hope during the year we get a lot of people that step up, especially in tense games, because every game is going to be close, every game is going to be tight, and we don't have an easy team on the schedule. So it'll be interesting to see how we react to that and how many other players can join in the act a little bit.
And speaking of the experience, the one thing I noticed on Friday is that you guys really did a good job controlling ball possession late in the game. Detroit tried to pressure and be aggressive, but you guys were able to control ball possession. Is that a strong point you think that's going to be throughout the year due to that veteran experience that you've had in the past?
Yeah, I think, again, if teams are going to give us a chance to get a lead, I think it's going to be hard for them, because we have that experience to keep the soccer ball. We do it every day in training. We put them in those situations with it during the week so that they know, again, they can handle some of that pressure, and I think that helped too going against Ohio State. I mean, they put the pedal to the metal on us from the second half through the overtime, and again, we bent a little bit, but I didn't feel like we completely broke down. They were able to play through some of that, and again, I think as this season goes on, we'll get even better.
And we talked about the veteran experience, obviously, but it was a sophomore that stole the show kind of this week, Megan McCabe being named MAC Defensive Player of the Week, and she's only had 5 starts under her belt, so it has to be something good to see out of her as your sophomore goalkeeper, that less amount of starts, but also she's only a sophomore, so she's going to be around for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword because she leads the conference in saves, which you don't want her to have to make as many saves, but yet she's showing what a good player she is. And again, we knew that even last year. She didn't at the time. Jenna was starting for us. Her work rate, her attitude, all the things behind the scenes really, that adds up to a great player. And she does all the little things right. I mean, I only see her getting better day in, day out.
And the road test does not get any easier. You make the short trip to Michigan to face the nationally ranked Wolverines on Friday night, and that team, they scored 9 goals in their first 2 games and haven't given up a goal. So with that, what are your thoughts going into Friday night's matchup?
Probably the scarier part with that is, I believe against Oakland they had 6 different goal scorers, so there's not really 1 or 2 players to watch out for. I mean, they are. Greg Ryan has done a fantastic job over there of putting, he's been building this team for the last 4 or 5 years. We've been lucky enough to play them either in the fall or the spring, so we've kind of seen the transition from what he's done over the last 5 years. So it's exciting, but it's also a little daunting too. I think for us, we've got to go in there knowing we can play with these teams, but also, we have to have that quiet confidence among us, but we're going to have to do a lot of things right to beat that team. I mean, they are very good, but you got to still play the game. So we'll see what we can do inside the chalk lines.
And you face Michigan. It's the only match this week. So facing a tough team like that, and then also having only 1 match instead of 2, does that make your training different throughout the week as it goes on?
No, again, I think we're going to push the kids just as hard this week. We're still trying to get to a fitness level that we're comfortable with. And again, that goes through the whole team. We didn't play a ton of players at the Ohio State game. We felt like we had a good rhythm with the players we had in there. So again, it's just kind of picking and choosing. But we'll train throughout the weekend too. I mean, the girls know till November they're going to be putting a lot of time in. So I think right now it doesn't really change up. We'll give them a little time off on the weekend, but we still got a lot to do. We have big expectations, so we've got to work hard to get to those.
Okay, certainly be an exciting matchup on the road. Friday night, 7:30 in Ann Arbor, Eastern Michigan University Eagles taking on the Michigan Wolverines. Coach Hall, thanks again for joining us, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Adam. Have a good one.